Welcome to Teachings from the Masters with Daryl Shaun Price.
Hi, welcome back. So today I want to talk to you about a concept that I think is a huge stumbling block for a lot of people when they try to manifest, when they try to really step into the role as a creator. And it is letting go of the how. So coming back to some core concepts before we dig into this one a little deeper. You are a powerful creator. You are so powerful that everything in your life is created as a reflection of who you choose to be. Your identity creates it all. So what happens is when you try to step into a new experience, I want financial freedom, I want happier relationships, I want a healthier body or anything else, you start to come up with ideas in your mind of what that looks like. And I know you've heard it again and again and again from so many different people. Let go of the how. But I don't know if you really understand what that means. If the how was a purple dragon appeared, knocked on your window, and handed you a bag of gold, would you accept that? And I know right now, in all funness, you're going to say, oh yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, let's do it. Do it right now. But no, your mind wouldn't accept that. That would make no sense to you. You would not allow that how. And I'll tell you this, the miracles in my life have never been in any how that my mind currently could allow. This is why it's so important you get rid of it. It's not saying it has to be the purple dragon that appears on your window, knocks and says, here's your bag of gold. But it will probably be something just as unlogical as that to you. Because here's what happens when you shift identity. When you shift who you are, when you shift the experiences you are going to have, if you start only allowing what makes sense to you, it's going to take a long time to get there. Because the new identity believes things the old identity doesn't. You have to let go and be clean slate and completely open. And that, I think, is where the stumbling block comes in. I think a lot of the people that I work with, in fact, I know a lot of the people that I work with, they're very good at saying, well, I don't care if it's winning the lottery or I happen to get a settlement for something or any other way they can logically think of having extra money come in, or I start getting more clients for my business. I don't care which way of those. But what they do care is that their mind can't accept a way that doesn't make sense to them. This is why the mind does not drive the bus when you are being a conscious creator. The mind has its role. Your mind is about processing what is currently happening through the lens of what has happened repeatedly. I want to repeat that. Your mind's job is to process what is currently happening through the lens of what has happened repeatedly. So what if what is about to happen doesn't fit in any of those? It tries to force it anyway. So think of it like this. So if your entire life is this bus trip and you've got different pieces you can put in the driver's seat. You can put your spirit in the driver's seat. You can put your heart in the driver's seat. You can put your mind in the driver's seat. You can put your body in the driver's seat. Here's what happens with each of those. If your body is in the driver's seat, you are in constant fight or flight. Everything is a danger, or I have a few moments of peace before the next danger comes. Put out the fire, protect myself, put out the fire, protect myself, put out the fire, protect myself. So if it's driving the bus, it would be, well, we're not even going that direction at all because that looks dangerous. Nope, stop. We're going right back here. We're just going to drive around the block because we know this and it is safe and that's where we stay. And the body's doing its job. The natural impulses and responses of the human body are safe or not safe, safe or not safe. Which is why it's so important to train our body to feel safe no matter what, so that we can have new experiences. Now let's go to the mind driving the bus. The mind will come to a crossroads, will start going a certain direction, come to a crossroads, and instead of caring where that goes, is going to say, well, the road in front of us looks really smooth and not a lot of turns. We should probably take that one. That makes the most sense. Well, the road to the left of us has a lot of turns. I guess you can take that one if you want, but it's going to be a little bit harder. Oh, the road to the right that goes up the mountain you want to go up, it's really thin and narrow and rocky. Yeah, that's just so difficult. Don't even think about it. Nope, not doing it. I don't know how to process that. We've never been on a rocky road. Now, what if the heart is driving the bus? If the heart is driving the bus, it's going to depend on what vibration you're at. If you are 100% about the emotions driving your bus, then you could hit that crossroads, and instead of taking the one that leads to where you want the easiest, like, I don't feel like it. I'm going to go back to this because I just feel like doing that, and I feel like being angry, and I feel like being sad. That's why the spirit has to drive the bus. And here's what I mean by the spirit driving the bus. This means you're in complete alignment because your spirit, that being that is the energy of creation that exists in all things, which is your spirit, is already in alignment with everything. And for the spirit, there isn't these observing the crossroads and anything is right or wrong. It's just which way gets you to what you want the easiest and is in most alignment. And if the spirit is driving the bus, yeah, you might hit that crossroads and go, yep, we're going up the rocky road. It looks really tough, but just trust me, it'll be fine. And then the heart goes, okay, because the heart responds to your spiritual reality. And you'll feel a peace about, okay, that feels right. And if the mind is now on board, the mind goes, okay, so as we do that, let's pay attention. Let's see what happens. Let's observe. Let's take in new information. And the body will go, okay, I feel safe because everything else is in alignment. Eliminate the chaos in your life by letting the spirit drive the bus, which means you know nothing. Here's the one truth. You exist. Your entire reality is created as a reflection of who you are. That's it. That's all you know. And that's all you need to know. And then the miracles start to happen. I'm going to tell you about a few in my life recently. So I have been planning a move across the nation. In fact, I am in the process of moving to Maine right now, which has been a dream for a long time. I love being on the coast. I love smaller cities. I love having lots of land and being able to be more in nature. And honestly, I like cold. I'm a cold weather person. I've done the warm beaches and they're fine. I've done the hot desert. It is not for me. But the cold coast is perfect. I'm at peace there. So it's been a dream for a long time. I'm in the process of doing that right now. And in the process, there's a lot of decisions to make. Where are we going to move? Was it going to be here? Is it going to be there? We're finding a place. How are we going to get other things lined up? And it'd be very easy to throw the brain into driving the bus and let's make a bazillion spreadsheets and let's make a huge checklist and go through everything logically until we force and find what we need. Here's what happened. Before we decided to move to Maine, we did all the logical forcing as a tribe. I'm not going to say me, I'm going to say tribe. So my tribe, because one of us is starting her dream career of owning her own daycare. And that's why we're moving, is to help support her in that. And one of the places in the world where that's going to make the most sense would be Portland, Oregon, which it's close enough to a coast. Yeah, it's fine. And we spent months trying to find a place, trying to figure out how to get things started out there. And it was just roadblock. It was a mind driving the bus. Well, we're going to go this way because this road feels less dangerous, but it didn't get us to where we want. We're right back at the same crossroads. So I was in a state during all of this of just, I'm allowing things to happen and observing. And then it finally hit, all right, I'm done just watching the force happen. We're going to trust the spirit to drive us exactly where we need to go. So I was browsing TikTok the other day. I came across one of the most fun people I've ever met on TikTok. The kid from Hawaii who's just on there to have fun. He calls himself Floppy Kitten, by the way. And as you follow him, he puts your name on the Kitten Crew board, and he does this thing called the Coin of Fate. He has this coin that he considers his lucky coin that you ask a yes or no question, he's going to flip it. Now, I thought, hey, why not? This is fun. And we talked about, well, if Portland doesn't work out, maybe we'll go east, and here's a bunch of other places, and blah, blah, blah. And we've had all this data. And I said, you know what? This feels fun. I'm going to do this. I'm going to ask him the question. Are we going east? Coin of fate says yes. Then I asked another question. It was about one of the houses in Portland that we might get. Like, are we going to get that blue house? Coin of fate says no. And there was one other house we were looking at that we might get in Portland. Are we going to get the house in Beaverton? Coin of fate says no. And over again, as I kind of played with this kid, it was just easy. Oh, that felt right. He said that, and that felt right. He said that, and that felt right. Now, I'm not here to tell you, oh, there's any magical power behind the coin of fate, but there is for me. I was in a state of play where I wasn't thinking about anything. I was in complete alignment, just enjoying this moment as it was, and got all the answers I needed. And he is not someone who claims he has any mystical power or is doing any divination. He flat out tells you this is just for fun, just because I think it's a fun thing to do. I'm doing this live. But here I was, in the most illogical way, getting the answers that made everything clear. And here's what happened. The day after I got off of that stream, watching him and asking these yes and no questions and playing, we looked in Maine. There were 7 houses total in the state that we could find that would match us. Called one of the landlords for one we really liked. He said, all right, I like you guys. We did not apply. We did not send income info. We did not do credit checks with him. Nothing. He said, great, that's good. He went and did a virtual tour with us so we could see that the house was legit. We negotiated, sent him a deposit. It's now ours. We're done. There was nothing. I'm big into animal rescue. We have a lot of animals. He said, I don't care. As long as you take care of them, we're done. It happened so quickly in ways that don't make sense. There was none of the jumping through hoops that we did with all of the people in Portland that felt like force, and we have to explain situation, and we're unique, and this is why, but we'll work with you, blah, blah, blah. Got on the phone. He said, yep, it feels right. We're done. He could end up becoming a business partner in what we're doing from some of the conversations we had. We're already friends. Things have clicked so easily. Those are the miracles that flow when you stop trying to decide how. You only get the hows that you allow. Now, there is nobody logically who would say, well, if you go on TikTok and go to Floppy Kittens, and by the way, I hope you go follow him, and I'm hoping he gets a lot of new followers from this because he's fun, and that's amazing. But that's why I gave you his user ID. But there's no logical person who would say, well, just go on TikTok and follow Floppy Kittens and ask questions to the coin of fate, and you'll figure out everything you need to in life. What? That's not logical. And of course, people are going to be like, well, you don't even know this guy. And what about, you're right. I don't need to. I know me and how I create. I'm going to give you another one. So we have this car that we were worried about. Is it really going to make it? It's a 6-year-old car. And, over and over again, there's been thoughts in the back of my mind about, I'm ready to get a new car. I'm ready to get something. And I kind of obsessed over a gray Jeep because I'm a huge fan of the old 1980s series, MacGyver. And he drove a gray Jeep. But honestly, I don't really care. I'm not a specific manifestor. I care more about the feeling. So I never really pursued it much, even though it's been going on for a while. It's just in the back of my mind. Oh, look, a gray Jeep. Oh, I'm going to get a new car. Oh, I'm going to get something, blah, blah, blah. Didn't think about it because, we're trying to get a new business going. It's not a smart thing to invest in. My mind allowed my mind to convince myself to drive around in circles over and over again. Until the car that we were going to take with us and figure out new car once we get there got totaled. Everyone's okay. And it was definitely not expected, but this car is now gone. So of course, lots of people with a lot of panic energy go, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And I sat, meditated. I felt at peace. I felt very calm, like everything's going to work out. I'm not even super worried about this. Went and talked to a bank that I very recently opened a bank account with. I didn't even talk to them. I went on their app, added a car loan. Said, I think with $25,000 we can find something that would be good. They said, okay, here's $27,500. This is not a bank, by the way, that I direct deposit anything into. It has had one deposit in about the year that I've had the account. And it was just a holding place for some other money that I was moving around based on inspiration for when I was building my financial freedom. And I want to tell you this. I don't have a great credit score. It's something that's being worked on, and it'll happen if it happens, if it needs to. I don't really care. Don't care. I also have not steady, verifiable income because I work for myself. I don't work for a job. I'm not a slave to a company. So I clicked 2 buttons and said I need 25,000. My mind said, there's no way you're going to get this. This is stupid. Nobody would lend to you. You've got to fix this and you've got to do this. I'm like, shh, you're not driving the bus. You can give input as things happen. Chill. And they said, here's 27.5. And, go wherever you want, buy whatever car you want. We're going to overnight you a check for that money. You can take it in, buy the car. So I did. And got a brand new car that feels just as good as when I imagined buying that gray Jeep. And it's not a gray Jeep, by the way. But that doesn't matter. Here's the miracle. Because I wasn't responding to the omens that I got, the universe said, okay, well, we're going to make it harder. Or we're going to give you the message in a bigger way. Well, now we're taking this old car away that you don't want anyway. Are you now going to go get the miracle of the new one that we've already provided for you? Just come on, receive it. There is nothing, no logical reason why this bank, who did not ask for income verification of anything, just gave me the money to go get a new car. And the payments and the interest rate are better than the car I had before. These type of miracles happen over and over and over again in my life. But it's only at the moment where I stop worrying about the how. I believe 100%. And I've been listening a little more to the omens and less to my brain in the whole car situation. I could have probably gotten the car without this other one being totaled. But that's okay. That's how it happened. And I accept it. And yeah, it means there's a little more logistics we have to deal with as we're in the process of moving. But guess what? There's no logical reason somebody should have just given me a car, a bank giving me a car, without checking my income, without pulling my credit, nothing. But it happened. Now let's get back to you and your how. See, over and over again, we do this. We try to say that we're letting go of the how and we're allowing ourselves to follow inspiration, but we get so stuck in, yeah, but brain said this, and if brain doesn't like it, we can only do it within a realm that brain likes. And sure, that'll work. But it's not your easiest way. So, when you sit down, when you meditate, when you visualize, when you see that new you experiencing that new life, having that new experience of whatever it is you imagine, the financial freedom, the health, the relationships, whatever it is, and what that feels like, now you let go of everything else, and I mean everything. You step into the world, observing what is happening, with the idea that I don't know how anything is going to happen. It could be a purple dragon knocking on my window, handing me a bag of gold, and I'm okay with that. I don't know. Sure, my mind can come up with ideas. Oh, well, you're going to have to win the lottery to do that, or you're going to have to do this, or you're going to have to get 2 side hustles. Oh, that's nice. I'm glad you're in processing mode and just observe the thoughts and let them go, because you don't know if any of those are taking root or not. And shift your attention back to being in alignment and feeling. Then the miracles happen, because you're allowing anyhow. And don't get me wrong, even if you have this boundary of, well, I don't care how, but it has to be within the realm that my mind makes sense. So it has to win the lottery, or I do better at my business, or I find some amazing way to make $1 million, or I get a settlement for something, or whatever your mind can come up with. Okay, you set the boundaries, they're the only hows that are allowed. You may still have miracles that happen, but it won't be the easiest way possible. It makes no logical sense that we changed our mind from going West Coast to East Coast, and within 2 days had a house and we're done. To allow the miracles in your life, you must not be attached to any outcome, because the outcome is going to surprise you how the miracle comes about. Remember, there's nothing greater than the power of you. When you are in alignment, you will naturally create your happiest life, because that's who you are. you will manifest miracles. See you next time.